So this person asks, what are these rods? And I just wanted to kind of come on here and sort of reintroduce myself, talk about these dowsing rods. I have quite a few new followers over the last couple of months. They are traditionally used to find water, oil in the ground. So people that are actually really good at dowsing, they can just use like wooden sticks. Traditionally like willow branches, when the wood sort of like pulls down towards the ground, that's where you can dig and find water in the ground. These ones are copper and they are getting quite tarnished because I use them a lot. However, this part right here, this long part, is completely free moving. This part that you hold on to is a tube, and the part that moves goes down inside the tube and is hammered out on the bottom. And that's how it's completely free moving. So when you're holding this tube, there's also a little bead at the top that sort of helps it move without catching. When you're sitting here holding the rods and you're not, you're holding as still as you possibly can, you can sort of move around without, the rods really moving. You can squeeze your fists and it's not going to affect how the rods move. I've had people claim, oh, you can squeeze your fists and it affects how the rods move. That's not true. You can squeeze them, obviously if I'm squeezing them, you can see them move in the way that that's obvious that I'm squeezing them, but it's not going to make them open and close, if that makes sense. They are made so you can walk around outside and they are not moving. So when I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you and I'm breathing and I'm just sort of like doing my thing, they're not moving, right? So when I'm sitting here and I'm actually using them and I'm sitting completely still and people are like, oh, she's moving, blah, blah, blah. Like if I'm moving even the tiniest little bit, it's not going to be enough to make them open and close. Just for an example, can you cross the rods in front of me to show me your yes response, please? So see how I'm just like sitting completely still and I have not moved any more than when I was just sitting here talking to you. And say, can you show me your no response, which is typically an open wide for me. That's typically what a no response is. So now they are open wide. And I've actually done a video of my dowsing rods defying gravity before, where they open up so wide and like leaning forward. They're actually kind of doing it right now. And of course you can't see it because of the camera angle, but leaning forward, they should be pointing forward. They should be pointing down completely, and they're not. They're pointing out to the side, and I'm leaning forward. I think it's cool to be skeptical. We should all be skeptical. We should not be like, hey, some girl on the internet used some copper rods to say something, so it must be true, right? Like, we should all be skeptical. We should always be asking questions. Like, don't just believe things blindly. However, we should always also have an open mind. And I think if you are skeptical and have an open mind, that's the best combination. If you have an open mind and you're skeptical, I think you should try dowsing rods for yourself. That's why I did them. I tried them for myself because I was like, something about this is piquing my interest. I am a very fact-based, science-based. I like tangible physical things that I can see and feel. I can feel these in my hands for myself. That's my little explanation on how they work. If anyone has any other questions about them, feel free to ask and I would be happy to answer your questions.